And these are the top stories of the hour. Repatriating the illegal funds deposited abroad, a challenge for the government. Complications and acid test for the willpower of the political leadership. Dr. Govinda Casey flown back to the capital after his health further deteriorated, and doctors suggested for him to be kept at a facility with ICU services. Vice President Nanda Bahadur Poon inaugurates a hotel that violates legal standards and criteria. Incidents dents the prestige of the designation, highlights the lapses in consultation and coordination with stakeholders. And Barcelona makes a comeback to enter the quarterfinals of the Spanish Copa del Rey, defeating Levante 3-0 last night and 4-2 on aggregate. We'll start with the latest national political updates. Dr. Govinda Casey has been flown back to the capital after his health further deteriorated. Dr. Casey was brought back to Kathmandu via a Nepal Army airplane at 3 this morning as his pulses turned unstable since yesterday evening. Dr. Casey was brought to Bhadrapur in an ambulance and thereon flown back to the Kathmandu capital in a night vision helicopter of Nepal Army. Dr. Casey is receiving treatment at the teaching hospital in Maharajganj. Preparations to escort Dr. Casey back to Kathmandu had begun right after former Chief Justice Sushila Karki, former Vice Chancellor for Tribhuvan University Kedar Bhakta Mathema and rights activist Daman Nath Tungana had reached Ilam to visit Dr. Casey. A special team of doctors who had reached Ilam from Dharan had warned Dr. Casey's health would face serious complications if he was not kept at ICU facility. Dr. Casey has been in a hunger strike for the past 10 days, demanding reforms in Nepal's medical sector. And on the same context, the rift between ruling Nepal Communist Party of Nepal and the main opposition Nepali Congress has further intensified in terms of addressing the demands raised by fast on to death Dr. Govinda Casey. Nepali Congress has alleged the government of backing out from the agreement struck with Dr. Govinda Casey by endorsing the medical education bill through the parliamentary committee. Nepali Congress lawmaker Gagan Thapa claimed that since Dr. Casey's demands are related with the issue of public health, the parliament should amend the clause of the bill as per the sentiments of the agreement reached with Dr. Casey. Meanwhile, Nepal Communist Party lawmaker Yogesh Bhattarai said that the government would not bow down to Dr. Casey's demands. And moving on, a recent study has shown that Nepalese have deposited a large sum of money in international banks and offshore tax havens in the past 2 years alone. The trend known as parking gained momentum since the insurgency period over 2 decades ago. This has shed light on the close link between politics and amassing wealth abroad. The Nepal Leaks, a report published on Wednesday, revealed that Nepalese have around 35.84 billion rupees saved in the Swiss bank, while 55 other individuals have invested in offshore tax haven. Based on the data of the report, 4.15 billion rupees was deposited at Swiss bank in 2006, the year which had marked the historic success of the Second People's Movement, popularly known as April Uprising. The following year, Nepalese deposited 3.90 billion rupees. Finance experts have opined the transfer of the money in such large amount would not be possible without the nexus with political leaders. However, Nepal Leaks is not the only incident so far disclosing details on the money deposited by Nepalese. Reports on individuals close to the palace depositing money offshore have surfaced numerous times in the past as well. Several individuals enjoying close ties with political leaders have emerged with affluent lifestyle overnight, while anti-graft bodies have monitored their dubious businesses as well.
सम्बन्धित मान्छेहरुले पैसा राखेको हो कि होइन यी कुरा सत्य तथ्य हो होइन भनेर जान्ने हो सोध्ने हो अब कतिपय केसमा कानुनी प्रक्रिया पुगेको पनि होला कानुन अनुसार राखेको पनि होला अथवा नन रेजिडेन्ट स्ट्याटस भएको कारणले आय आर्जन भएको पनि होला यो सबै कुरा सोधेपछि त सरकार मान्छेले भनिदिइहाल्छ।
Given that huge amount of money has been parked at international institutions, especially during conflict era, experts believe political support has played a crucial role in such transactions. Former Finance Minister Surendra Pandey has opined the government needs to carry out a detailed investigation on the issue at the earliest. Likewise, the government should also make efforts to estimate and repatriate the amount deposited abroad. Now, public weave expectations after the government makes commitments. However, many assurances on issues of public interest aired by the government with specific deadlines have not been fulfilled. This does not just reflect the immaturity in government's modus operandi, but at the same time also weakens the government's accountability. While inaugurating the Social Security Scheme on 27th of November, 2 months ago, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli had claimed that Melamchi water would reach Kathmandu in a few days and the dust of Kathmandu roads would be washed by the same. Melamchi water did not reach Kathmandu taps. Instead, the project contractors warned of abandoning project a few days after the Prime Minister's announcement. In another instance, while addressing the meeting of the Inter-Provincial Coordination Council, Premier Oli had assured the formation of the Financial Commission and concluding the staff adjustment process with a work plan by mid-January. However, both the tasks are yet to be completed. This shows that the government itself is not serious about its planning and promises. On 11th of July last year, Premier Oli had directed to fix the potholes in Kathmandu within 50 days. Despite the lapse of 190 days since the directive was issued, the condition remains intact or even worse. Along with public programs, Prime Minister Oli also told the Parliament that syndicate in transport sector had already ended. However, his government's portfolio minister has extended the deadline to put an end to the transport syndicate to suit the best interest of transport entrepreneurs. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Oli had welcomed critics to board ships on 31st of December last month. However, the invitation was limited to a mere rhetoric. These instances have raised serious questions regarding whether the Prime Minister is ignoring the implementation part while airing such fake assurances. This has also raised questions regarding if the Premier is misled as his assurances and commitments are not aligned with the implementation aspect. The ability of a mature leadership is to lead by example by proving with actions instead of trying to sell assurances for cheap popularity. Vice President Nanda Bahadur Poon has inaugurated a hotel which was constructed by violating the legal criteria and standards in Pokhara. The incident has not just raised questions on the prestigious position of Vice President, but it also is an evidence of the lapse of consultation and coordination between the high-ranking officials of the nation and the concerned government departments. Vice President Nanda Bahadur Poon inaugurated Hotel Task International constructed at Buddha Chowk, Pokhara on Wednesday. The hotel does not comply with the standards of Pokhara metropolis. The 10-story building of the hotel was constructed against the provision of up to 3.5 stories. This has raised questions on why and how the Vice President, who holds the supreme designation after the head of the state, arrived to inaugurate a facility that violates the regulations. This also shows that either the office of the Vice President is not conducting adequate study and research prior to the Vice President's participation at any program, or it is not being able to deny personal requests. In any case, experts have opined that the Vice President's participation at small programs and inauguration of illegal structures has dented the prestige of the designation. Mayor Man Bahadur GC and other officials were invited to attend the inauguration of the hotel building as well. However, none of the officials from the metropolis attended the program, citing the building's illegitimacy. Over 5,000 tall structures that violate the standards stand in Pokhara, while many others are under construction. The participation of the Vice President in the inauguration of such buildings has boosted the morale of violators, while it also reflects the absence of consultation and coordination from the high-ranking officials with the related government bodies. The Parliamentary Hearing Committee has unanimously endorsed Ganesh Prasad Dhakal as the ambassador to Thailand and Deepak Adhikari to France. However, lawmakers this time around were indifferent to the entire hearing procedures. The Parliamentary Hearing Committee had called for the meeting at 11 yesterday morning. However, the meeting had to be delayed by half an hour as the committee did not attain full form. Only 8 out of the 15 Parliamentary Committee members attended the meeting, with few of whom raising irrelevant questions, while others left the sessions due to lack of interest. The attending lawmakers also lacked enthusiasm during the hearing process. Both the ambassador nominees had presented plans prioritizing tourism sector and had committed to facilitating foreign investments in the country at the hearing yesterday. The committee endorsed their appointments as no cases were reported against both the candidates. Dhakal and Adhikari both hail from Foreign Affairs Services. The Parliamentary Hearing Committee is the only platform to discuss the qualifications, merits and future plans of candidates recommended by the government to make an unbiased decision on crucial appointments. However, the parliamentary hearing has largely remained a ceremonial process. The governments in the past have been alleged of misusing the feeble existence of the Parliamentary Hearing Committee to recommend candidates for position as crucial as that of an ambassador, putting the country's image in the international forum at risk. Jhapa Chandragi Agricultural Development Farm was established with the objective of producing seeds and to establish a research center as well. But the farm has not been able to function as expected. In this context, we had asked the employees and the locals regarding the failure of the Agricultural Development Farm. In our Public Voice segment, let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
रोटाभेटरहरु हुनु पर्यो अब हामीलाई भनेको पनि धान रोप्ने मेसिन हुनु पर्यो मकै रोप्ने मेसिन हुनु पर्यो आधुनिक कृषि औजारहरु हुनु पर्यो जहिले उहिले हाम्रो पुर्खाले गरेको हातले जे गरेका थियौ त्यसैका भरले मात्रै भएका कारणले पनि यो अलि सञ्चालन हुन नसकेको
विभिन्न खालको जस्तो यहाँ के अनुसन्धान गरेर चाहिँ एकदम केन्द्र भयो अब विश्वविद्यालय भयो हैन आधुनिक खालको अब त्यो मेसिनहरु र एउटा ठोस खालको एउटा योजनाहरु हुनु पर्थ्यो त्यो छैन
कर्मचारीहरुकै कारण हो खासमा चाहिँ जुन सक्षम कर्मचारीहरुले यहाँ आफ्नो क्यापासिटी देखाउनु पर्ने त्यो देखाउन सक्नु भएन के यसमा चाहिँ ठाउँ भए पनि र अवसर भए पनि
सरकारले कर्मचारी जति हुनुपर्ने अहिले नभइराखेको अवस्था अनि भएका कर्मचारी जुन समितिमा भएका कर्मचारीहरुको व्यवस्थापन नभएको अवस्था
हामीले देख्दा चाहिँ के देख्छौं भन्दाखेरि उहाँहरु अब नेपाल सरकारको कर्मचारी जारी खानुभयो बस्नुभयो जानुभयो त्यसलाई छोडिदिनु भयो
13 जनाको दरबन्दी भएर पनि 2 जनाको मात्रै परपूर्ति भएको र परपूर्ति भएकोमा पनि 2 जना सरहरु चाहिँ अध्ययन विधामा रहनु भएको
दिनदिनै जुन प्रविधिको विकास भइरहेको छ र पनि दिनदिनै फर्म चाहिँ गतिहीन अवस्थामा गुज्रिरहेको छ प्रमुख कारण भनेको चाहिँ नै राजनीतिक कारण नै यसको प्रमुख कारण मान्न सकिन्छ
बिउहरु उत्पादन जति हुनुपर्ने थियो त्यति नहुनुको विशेष कारण भनेको एउटा माटोको पीएच चाहिँ एकदमै लो भएर गएको छ
And it's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Your question is, why are lawmakers indifferent to the hearing of recommended ambassadors? Your options are A, hearing being a formality, B, clash of interest, and C, lack of accountability. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And with that, it's now time for the sports update.
Sports news.
Barcelona have made a comeback to enter the quarterfinals of the Spanish Copa del Rey, defeating Levante 3-0 last night and 4-2 on aggregate. Barcelona were defeated 2-1 in the first leg. In the second leg match played in Barcelona's home ground Nou Camp last night, Ousmane Dembele scored 2 quick goals, one in the 30th minute and the other a minute later to give Barcelona a 2-0 lead. With the goals in last night's match, Dembele has now scored 12 goals for the season. Lionel Messi scored a goal in the 54th minute to seal Barcelona's 3-0 win over Levante. With the win, Barcelona have entered the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey with an aggregate 4-2 win. And now, before we wrap up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Repatriating the illegal funds deposited abroad a challenge for the government. Complications and acid taste for the willpower of the political leadership. Dr. Govinda Casey flown back to the capital after his health further deteriorates. And Doctors suggested for him to be kept at a facility with ICU services. Vice President Nanda Badurpun inaugurates a hotel that violates legal standards and criteria. Incident dents the prestige of the designation. And Barcelona makes a comeback to enter the quarterfinals of the Spanish Copa del Rey, defeating Levante 3-0 last night and 4-2 on aggregate. And those are our latest headlines. Our next English bulletin will be at 11 this morning. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.